to our live feed. Let's get into it. The continuation. But that started yesterday. The birth of the 4-3 defense. 7th season that changed the NFL from 1953 to 1959. Let's get into it. So I'm reading about the 1953 Green Bay Packers. We went 2-9 that year. Let's talk about that season with them. So I'll take one team at a time. From the early 50s to the late 50s. Because these 7th season that changed the league forever. Because of the 4-3. Green Bay Packers 2-9-1. They were 6 in the Western Conference. Gene Rosani was the coach. Gene Rosani returned for his 4th year as head coach with Hugh DeVore, the newest addition to the staff. McLean was in the 3rd year coaching the backs. Chuck Julius was in his 3rd year coaching the line. So Green Bay on defense preferred a 5-2-4 defense. They attempted to play the 4-3 at times. The Packers were red dog and were primarily a man-to-man coverage team. So Green Bay used both the slot T, standard pro formations, really, and rope both used the spread formation in placing situations with either a lone back or empty backfield. So we look at this personnel. You got 40 men suited up for Green Bay. 6 players were in their last year or only year with the team. In their last or only year with the team. And that side group of 9 rookies making the squad. Like John Markovich, John Martinovich earned the Pro Bowl berth for his performance at left defensive end. Dick Will Dunn started most of the year at left defensive tackle. Dave Hanner was strong at the point of attack, his right defensive tackle position, but he also played left tackle and such headed to Los Angeles for the Pro Bowl. Howie Roos played both tackle spots. George Hayes again started the year starting at right defensive end until late in the year. With Carl Elliott played in on offense. Played there. Linebacker position was shared by a number of men. Again with Bob Forte, who played both outside linebacker posts. So the rookie Bill Forster played both middle guard and some middle linebacker, and Clayton Tanemaker received some All-Pro recognition at offensive tackle. Though he played defense, he played linebacker, some middle guard in the Pro Bowl season. Darrell Sutik played some left linebacker. So you have the campaign while rookie Roger Zakov played both outside linebacker. Right defensive end. Norman Johnson began the year as a starting left tackle, left corner, while Ace Loomis was a usual starter at right corner. Benny Aldridge started at both corner positions, while Joe Walker had a fine year at left safety, putting a memorable interception return against the Colts. Bobby Dan Dillon intercepted 9 passes in the first 10 games of an outstanding performance at right safety that earned him some All-Pro recognition. So when he was injured against the Lions in a game where he had set 4 passes, the coaching staff shifted to 5-3 and 4-4 defenses many times during the final 2 games of the year. The Packers allowed 152 points the last 4 games. Dick Athlis began the year starting at the left offensive tackle, also played defensive tackle. For the second half of the season. And then Cease Farron was the starter. Buddy Brown, who played defensive tackle, started at left guard, and what promised to be a fine career. Dick Logan was a nominal starter at right guard. Steve Ruzich also played there, and some at left guard. Dave Stevenson played center. Defensive end. The 21-year-old rookie Jim Ringo proved very capable in limited playing time. Gus Cefelli gave a solid performance at right tackle. Fred Combs started at fullback, with rookie Howie Ferguson in reserve. Speedy rookie Al Carmichael was excellent on sweeps. But the key man of the running game was Fred Floyd. Reese Reed was quite capable of running both inside and outside. These four men combined to catch 55 passes, as all of them were involved at times in the Packer passing attack. Vito Bay Perilli and Tobin Rote shared the quarterback position, and these men were willing runners and could make every throw. In 10 games, they both attempted at least 8 passes. Those the needed rhythm to function to this key position was lacking. Early in the year, Clyde Rush received plenty of playing time as a receiver, but when Buddy Houghton returned to the lineup, he caught only 3 passes in the last 8 games. Bob Mann was still a capable receiver when the opportunity was given. Houghton returned to the lineup after missing 4 games due to cracked ribs. Every trait needed in a receiver was found in Houghton. And though he did not have as many shining moments as he did in 52, he still performed at an elite level. Rush Perilli struggled. Russell Perilli struggled as Fred Cohen was not as accurate kicking field goals as is the past. Al Carmichael was superb in returning both kickoffs and punts, while the Packers' kick coverage was satisfactory. So what did the stats tell? Since Perilli and Rote combined to throw 30 interceptions and 9 losses, the running game took on added importance. Green Bay averaged 27 yards a game in the 2 wins over Baltimore, but averaged just 113 yards rushing in the 10 games they lost or tied. The Packers' run defense allowed just 96 yards in the 3 games. They either won or tied, but allowed 161 in the 9 losses. Green Bay ranked 5th in the key to passer rating category with the mark of 50.4 when the last 3 games of the year. Opposing passers averaged over 18 yards of completion. The game significant was the Packers had won just once in their last 8 games in Baltimore for this Halloween Saturday night fest. First quarter, Green Bay is in a slot left formation with Billy Houghton as the close right end. His corner route gets him open to take Tobin Rote's accurate pass for 40 yards and a touchdown. Baltimore answers as Fred Inky. He's a long pass up the right sideline to Clinker, Buddy Young, Walker Dillon, and Aldridge. Ole Miss the tackle on the swivel hit Young as he prints into the end zone to complete the 49-yard scoring play. Second quarter, fullback John Huzabar, the Colts plus for 25 yards on a trap right play to the Baltimore 45-yard line before Val Joe Walker can wrestle him down. So Husbar built into the Packers secondary again on the right trap. Stiff arms Bobby Dillon is off on a 36-yard touchdown run. First and 10, Al Carmichael gains 23 yards the right side before he's knocked out of bounds by Sisto Averno. The pass pocket keeps Perilli secure. He lost a pass into the right corner end zone to split in Houghton, who has gotten behind Keenan and Tessoff for 13 yards and the tying score. Late in the quarter, Perilli pitched to Fred Cohen on a circle route middle for 30 yards before Don Shula can knock him down on the Baltimore 15-yard line. So when Perilli cannot find an open receiver, he darts up the middle to the 3-yard line before Ed Sharkey hauls him down. Cohen had a sweep right outside, outruns the defenders, and Green Bay leads at the half 21-14. Third quarter, Rote is back in the game at quarterback. He has the Packers in the slot left formation completes His flare pass to the cone for 18 yards to Baltimore 25. Carmichael on a Statue of Liberty play. He speed up the left sideline for 16 yards before hustling Bill Pillington drives him out of bounds on the 9-yard line. So Rote again has the Packers in the slot left formation drills. J.R. Boone will pass on the goal line to store out to ante up the lead to 28-14. Ricky Carr kicks a 42-yard field goal to bring Baltimore closer as the quarter ends. Fourth quarter really is back in at quarterback and gives the ball to Brizzy Reed on a sweep right. Reed's 38-yard touchdown run gives him 120 yards rushing on the day. Puts the game out of reach, so call Tesav of the Colts awaits Clive Rush's booming punt. Once he finds an opening, he's off to the races. A 71-yard punt return to close out the scoring. Green Bay 35, Baltimore 24. So Green Bay has their best offensive output of the year as they gained 404 yards, 231 yards rushing, and their only road victory of the year. Lost in Detroit on Thanksgiving. The Green Bay Executive Committee fired Rosanny and such DeVore and McClain, all coaches, for the 2 road losses to close the year. Direction must be provided for the young talent on the roster, especially on defense, where stability is essential. All right, so I'm done. Be back at 1 o'clock. Continue on my poetry book reading series. This one going to be Spiritual Infatuation. Till then, talk to you at 1 o'clock.